Hello, hello.
What's going on?
Hey, your camera is off.
Mm, mm, Yeah, join in, clicking in for me.
You said it's not working for you?
Yeah,
Mm,
like it has it on mine, but the picture not popping up.
uh, See if you could click on your square. You see your square where it says your name?
Yeah.
See if you could possibly click on that and maybe hit add. Do you see
All right,
that as an option?
let me check me 1 second. Oh, it's right there. Hey, hey,
Hey.
man.
Hello, hello. I know we
What's
have two
up?
other gentlemen that should be joining us soon.
Yes,
So
hopefully
we'll
so.
kind of do your introduction and get going. I'll do my introduction, you do yours, and we'll get going from there. They
Sounds
should
great.
just be able to get in because that link should give them access. So yeah,
Okay.
so we're gonna go ahead and get started.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
All right. I am Ashley Angelina, the host of BlckBold&Beautiful, the podcast for the culture. This is Mr. Oliver Sherrer. I'm going to let him introduce himself. I just want y'all to know this is my
Uh-uh.
brother. We met at work and we have been tight ever
Uh,
since. So
spend some
go
time.
ahead and let them know, who you are. I'm going to tell you to behave, as you know. So just
I'm
introduce
very well
yourself.
behaved.
It's behavior.
I ain't got much to it.
Okay.
I'm just me. I'm just Oliver Sherrer. That's it. I am a film producer, actor, a writer. Guess I can put director in there now.
Hmm.
Um, and a child of God. That's
Come on, child of God.
that's me. Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. I love it. Now, do you want to give? Well, we can do that again. We can do that again. So, as you know, the title of today's segment is "Dear Black Man," and we're going to talk about things about mental health,
Mhm.
just getting your perspective, as a young Black man in today's society, the struggles, the stressors, and all those things.
Sure, for sure.
Yeah,
Plenty of them.
yep, plenty of them.
Plenty of
So
them.
I'm just going to go ahead and get into it. Just today in this moment, how is being a Black man in today's society? What stressors come with that to you? Like, what are things in today's society that kind of have you on edge, may kind of trigger anxiety? What are those things?
Um, I think in general, I think I do a really good job of not trying to feed into those things
Okay.
mentally. I feel like I have a lot of things that kind of help me out mentally to kind of avoid those.
Hmm.
But what I can say is I really think it depends on your atmosphere,
Right.
your location. I
Absolutely.
travel a lot. I travel a lot, especially for work or even for your vacation. And as you know, you'll call me 1 second. I'll be like, yo,
In New
I ain't
York.
even in town.
Yeah. I'm in New York.
And then we'll be on the phone a couple of days later. I ain't there no more neither, you know. So I
Yeah.
really think the location plays a big factor. Um, I don't know. I would have to say there's so many things that you see now, right? Like social media base, and we all have so much access to everything that's going on. So a lot of
Mhm.
times, I think when you come across people, if you're not necessarily accustomed to what they're accustomed to, or you guys don't have necessarily share the same experiences, I think a lot of times. your basis of what you might think a lot of times can go off of what you've seen on those different social media sites.
Yes.
And I don't think that's a good look.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a good look at all. So, but I'm aware of that. So I try not to have that in my mind. But I mean, it can be something as simple as just being in a grocery store.
Hmm.
You know, I spent a couple years in Mississippi, and the way you're looked at just walking around in a grocery store out there is different than how you're looked at walking around in New York.
Right.
You know what I mean? So um, you notice it, and I think the younger me will be more on edge about it. But I think as of now, I'm like I think I'm so used to it at this point.
Yeah.
I think I'm very
Yeah.
used to it. I'm very accustomed to it at this point. So not really too triggering for me at this point.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, I think I'm all right now. I think
Okay.
I'm all right. Yeah.
As far as fear goes, when it comes to simple things like you said, in the grocery store, you get certain looks.
Hmm.
Um, what about like when you're out? You're out, and because we see it on the media all the time. Innocent young black guys getting killed for nothing. They're in
Hmm.
there.
Sure.
Um, is it almost as if you have to be on edge when you're out, or how do you maneuver through life, like just a small commute, because you have like Trayvon Martin who was gunned down for just getting a bag of Skittles and tea.
Hmm.
You have young men that were just on their way home or from going somewhere and get pulled over. Simple traffic stop ended up to them being dead.
For sure.
How how is that for you?
Um, I think I think as a black man, I think we all kind of get that. Yo, why is this cop right behind me? Like
Right.
you're not even doing nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You might be doing nothing wrong, but it definitely runs. Those type of things run through your head. Next thing you know, you
Uh,
10 and 2 on the wheel for no reason. Like
right.
you know what I mean. And I think it is just because all right, what could the possibilities be in situations like that? Traffic, traffic wise, I think those things. Um, I guess I'm trying to think of other. All right, so I'm good for going for a walk,
Okay.
like, but it's going to depend what neighborhood I'm in.
Yeah.
I see them
If
Trump
it's
signs out there in that yard.
yeah,
I'm good.
not gonna do it. That
I'm
walk is
good.
not.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you know what? I got a car. Might as well drive it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So it really will depend. Location wise, what's my atmosphere like, so I kind of know how to maneuver. And I think that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing. You know,
I'm sorry.
I'm popular man today.
I'm sorry.
I'm popular man.
It was it was
Yo, like yo,
like you
yo,
told me real cool, but you was like, hey, you don't
you
see his
feel
hair.
me? Hey, yo, my guy.
Yeah. So for me, like just being a wife of a black man, being a
Mm,
mom to a black man, being a sister to a black man, a daughter to a black man. My
yeah.
biggest fear is them just going out living life and theirs being taken,
Hmm.
just because somebody feels like they have the right to do it. Um,
Yeah,
and I think we definitely, when Anthony leaves the house, my prayer is like, Lord, keep him covered and allow him to make it back in one piece,
for
because
sure.
that's not always. And it's sad, as his wife, his spouse, that I have to worry about him going to go get some milk, or
Yeah,
him saying, because why is he not able to go to Wawa or 7-Eleven at 1, 2 in the morning because he wants a snack, and me not have to worry about is he coming back, or
right.
make sure you don't do anything and he is a sheriff himself, But
Yeah.
even with that, like we've been out and we went out once, and we were, I think we were getting a massage or something, something we were doing. It wasn't here, it was in another
Okay.
area. And he saw someone from the force
Hmm.
in that county. And so, naturally, he's just like, oh, I want to talk to him too, how things are here. That could be a nice place. Don't mind moving here. He went to action. That
Hmm.
man had his hand on his gun. He had his hand on
Really?
his, yeah, he had his gun. And I'm thinking he's not a threat to you. So
Yeah.
what's making you so trigger happy?
Yeah.
Because he's only coming to ask you a question. So Anthony was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. I was going to ask you a question. I only wanted to ask you about your agency, because I was interested or whatever. He was like, oh, it's a great agency. I was like, you know what? Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. Because see him,
Yeah.
he's real humble, but me, I ain't that humble.
Ain't the same.
Because if you gonna shoot me, you better kill me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I feel you.
But it's just sad because what if he'd have shot him? And then what's your point in shooting him? And his thing was, oh, there's someone in the area that we're looking for someone in the area, and they said that they have on a black shirt.
That's
No, you're
typically the
just saying
go-to.
that because he has on a black shirt. The person
Yeah.
probably did not have a black shirt, but because
Right.
he's a
Right. Right.
big black man,
Mhm.
he automatically is a threat to you.
Yeah.
And it's
That's
just so
yeah.
sad, man.
It is. It is. It is for sure. But and it's I mean, fact check me on this one, but I mean, even policing, like the times of slavery here in America, like the police were the people that went and brought back runaway slaves to make sure
Yeah,
that they weren't going places. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so what are we doing that's different now? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's let's keep them where they're supposed to be, keep them in line, keep them in check. I feel like it's still the ultimate goal on a lot of fronts in that way,
yeah,
when it comes to that. And I mean, if that's the foundation,
right.
you know, how
Yeah.
can we expect anything different?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? But but yeah, I mean, honestly, the crazy part is that I'm not even surprised to hear
Yeah.
that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the crazy part. I'm not even surprised to hear something like that. I mean, yeah, yeah, I can see that happen.
Look, sounds about right.
It sounds about right.
Now, when it comes to the stigma that comes with black males, definitely when it comes to fatherhood, deadbeat fathers, absent fathers, automatically you guys are labeled as thugs, hoodlums. Like
Mhm.
your success in marriage is kind of non-existent. They think. Um,
Mhm.
what is your perspective of that? Like, what do you take from that to say, you know what, I'm going to beat the odds and not do those things, but I'm going to show them that this is also how we operate?
Mhm. Um, well, honestly, I think a lot of those things happen or have happened systemically, right?
Hmm.
Like the absent father in the home. I mean, if we just go back not too long ago when
Hmm.
crack in the 80s was such a big thing. I mean, there
Right,
goes a big reason for why most of your fathers wasn't in that home right there to begin with,
right.
So I mean, if that's something that um, is being pumped through, then and I don't want to get like too deep in that in history lessons and stuff like that. But how do I avoid those things? I think it's being focused on the goal, right? I think a lot of those other things for me, I look to fall in place,
Yeah.
and my main focus is to remain focused.
Hmm.
Um, there is, being a Christian man, there is some things that I really strive for in my personal life, and I believe that those things will come to pass. A lot of people say, okay, like I'm this or I'm that, and sometimes they feel like they might need to say it.
Hmm.
I like to call myself an ambassador for Christ. So when you
Okay.
see me, you should be seeing
Right.
that. You should be seeing him. You should be
Mhm.
seeing a piece of him. And so I think it's in everything, in the way um, you you go about everything that you're doing throughout life, and it can be a sense of like, hey, like we're not all this or that or whatever the case is, like putting those labels on it.
Right.
Um, but again, like the crazy part is that a lot of those things happen because of um, circumstances that we've seen that has been passed down to us. Um, so yeah, again, I think the biggest thing is just to remain focused on what I'm aiming for, and
Mhm.
who I want to be.
Right.
Um, and the crazy part is that, just like how you said with your husband, if you're just walking up to someone, a lot of those things they're not going to be able to tell about you
Right.
just by you walking up to them.
Mhm.
Before any words are even spoken, the hand is already on the gun. So, um, and a lot of those instances, there's not much that we can do about the way we're being viewed in a lot of those instances, or in some of those
Right.
instances rather. you know
Mhm.
so we do what we can. We do what
Mhm.
we can. Yeah.
Mhm. Now the you are in a relationship.
Correct.
Um, as you know, a black male, as a black man, what are things that you feel you are obligated to do, you know, to maintain that relationship with your significant other?
What am I obligated to do to maintain a relationship?
So, in the sense of securing the relationship to move to the next level, I don't mean obligated like paying bill type things, but
Hmm.
obligated in the sense of making sure that you are carrying yourself a certain way, doing certain things, providing certain things so that you guys can move to the next level. What do you think is your role? Like, what do you think you need to bring to the table to get to the next step of marriage?
Me personally, or talking to the other people out there, the other brothers out there?
We won't say talk to other brothers out there. We're not gonna.
Okay, talking to the other brothers out there. I think it's really dependent on the structure of the relationship,
Hmm.
because for one person, it could say, okay, I need to be the provider. For someone else's relationship, they might say, I don't need to do that. Maybe I need to be taking care of the crib.
Right.
There's it's not like how it was back in the day where, okay, the traditional wife is taking care of the home, and the husband is going out, to work the one job, and then comes back and can take care of everything. That's not.
Right.
So I think it really depends on the the dynamics of your relationship.
Hmm.
Um, Fellas, listen. Let's start there. Listen.
Come on now.
Listen to what she's saying.
Listen to
And
comprehend, not listen to
yeah,
respond. But okay. Go ahead.
yeah, just what I'm saying. Just listen, because a lot of times she will tell you, even if it's not like coming blatantly out, boom, 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 because not everyone is like that, right?
Right.
You get a lot of people that will. They'll say, "Hey, look, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, looking for that." But not everyone is. But get to that space of communication in your relationship where you can listen and understand what their expectations of you are, right? And
Mhm.
once you understand that, then you can decide, okay, either I can do that or I can't. And you
Right.
probably need to be doing that before you drop on that knee.
Right. Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Because once you're in there, it's cheaper to keep her.
Right.
Like, you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so um, I think that's a big thing. It's kind of like whatever you're starting at the very beginning, like once you, well, not the very beginning, because you have to get to know these things first, right? So then when you are trying to
Right.
move to that space, that marriage, what can you maintain?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people say, oh, I can do this. Like, let's just say it's, I'll do something personal. Like, I like to randomly, not just give flowers,
Hmm.
but like the flowers all over your bedroom, all over the
Right.
room, whatever the case is. And then it
Hmm.
might be like a bouquet of flowers like sitting there.
Yeah.
Now I know not to do that weekly.
Hmm.
I know like this not going to be an every Monday thing because I'm
Right.
not going to keep up with that.
At least you know.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
don't don't set the bar so high at that point
But
because
you
if
missing it
you can't
because
if
you
you
said
can't
that.
maintain exactly,
Right.
you set that bar. So if you can't maintain, and I think that's across the board, whether it comes with, oh, some people say, hey, to get to that level, I want to be able to buy the crib and I want to be able to buy this. And I'm like, all right, well, you keep buying all them things. A couple years pass by when you in that crib, you think they're just gonna be like, okay, yeah, like I'm perfectly fine with the way things are now. Like, or let's
Yeah.
say y'all starting with an apartment, and then
Mhm.
it's okay. Well, you paid everything for the apartment, you paid for this car. Okay, well, it's time for me to get a new car. Oh, I don't want
Right.
the apartment no more. We got some kids now. Okay, I want to be able to get. Can you maintain to be able to keep on that path?
Right.
Because if not, it's gonna be like, oh, well, he used to do this, he used to do that. We ain't like that no more. What's going
Yeah.
on? What's changed?
Yeah.
Why are you acting different?
Right. Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why are you
Yeah.
acting different than me?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Yeah. Why
saying?
you
But
being weird to me?
yeah, like, why you being weird to me?
Right.
So I think you got to be able to set things that you can maintain. Listen to what she's saying, and it's all right to be like, yo, nah, I can't do that,
Right. I ain't got it.
and I ain't got it, dog.
Right. I ain't got it.
Life's a game of inches, and you coming up short. I ain't got it, dog. So I think I think that's a big thing right there. Listen in those times of that communication, and then make sure whatever it is that it's something that you can maintain.
Yeah.
Because consistency, I've come to learn that women love consistency.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the stigma of men having to be hard and not have that, I want to say, softness to them, but always feeling like they have to be masculine in every situation. Are you in that same genre, or do you know that, or are you one that's okay with expressing his emotions, allowing yourself to feel, or are you one that's just like, no, I'm not, I'm just going to be tough, that's it. You get a tough me, and that's it.
um, it's interesting because I think how I would answer and how my lady would answer would be different, which is why I say it's interesting because I would say, yeah, like there is those moments where I can be able to say, look, like I'm gonna be open,
Right,
X, Y, and Z.
right.
I think more oftentimes the regular is to be like, yo, I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'll be good. You know.
Right. Hmm.
Um, but to be honest, a lot of times I will. Like, I don't think I make a lot of things as big as some
Hmm.
people might make them. I'm just kind of like, all right, like I'm not dead. You know what I'm saying? Or like it ain't gonna kill me. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like I'll be fine. Um, but no, I think and then also kind of going back towards the career, um, as an actor, I think it is a very bad idea to cut off feeling those emotions.
Yeah.
Because when you cut off, depending on the acting technique that you're going with, cutting off those emotions will transfer over to when you do get that script and you're trying to relate to the character and they get emotional over something, and
Hmm.
now you can't tap into that level of emotion because you've made that part of you cold.
Right.
So you're not adapt to being able to, and you're having much less characters that you can relate to. I think
Hmm.
that can be very problematic. So I would say I try to be, but it ain't gonna be over any little old thing for me.
Right,
Like
right, 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 right.
it's gotta be something. You, at least not even necessarily just to me, because it could be something big to my lady. Like there might be something where I don't think it's that big of a deal, but if she thinks it's that big of a deal and she wants to hear like the layers and how I truly feel about it,
Hmm.
I tell her.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um, so I want to know, you know, I think as Black men, you guys have a lot of responsibility. I think at times you guys could probably be very underappreciated. I think that you guys are
Yeah,
labeled very early.
yeah. Say it again.
Hey, listen, brother, what I told you, what I told you. This is not what I know on FaceTime. You want to behave, okay? That's
You're right.
it.
You're right. You're right.
Gotta
You're
behave. You can't let the people see you, man. You gotta, you know what I mean? Gotta stay the course.
I feel you. I feel you. I
But
feel
yeah,
you.
so you guys are underappreciated. I feel like you guys aren't given credit in a lot of areas. Um,
Mm,
because personally, I feel definitely for my Black man and my Black men that are in my circle, I think in my personal life, I would not be the woman I am without my Black man, right? Um,
mhm,
because he takes on the hard stuff. The stuff that I can't carry, I probably would not be interested in. Definitely not about to do it. You know, I wanted, but I think you guys aren't giving enough credit. And what I had to do was in my own personal marriage was just stop and think like you have a good man, no matter what society says or how they try to paint this picture of what the perfect man is.
mhm,
Your husband, he's flawed, but he's trying. He gives you 110% all the time, in spite of all that he deals with out there, right? Because
mhm.
I feel like out in the world, you guys deal with a lot. And then to come home and deal with a lot, it's a lot, right? And I
Okay.
was one of
Yeah.
those people that, like, in the beginning of our marriage, brother man was catching hell from the word. It didn't matter.
Catching all type of strays.
It don't matter. Either way, it was just coming.
Yeah.
But I had to realize the type of battles that you guys fight stepping out of these doors, right?
Mhm,
And how hard you fight to get back. I think we have to learn to appreciate those things and
mhm,
sometimes be able to just sit in silence because that's what y'all need. Not me trying to fix your problem, not me trying to understand what the problem
mhm,
is, but to just say, you know what? You might want to talk about it. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. I'm just going to sit here in this nothingness. But when you
mhm.
want to talk, I'm here.
That's bars.
And I have found that to work. And
Yeah.
I am trying to learn to be that safe place for him, right? Because you
Mhm,
guys don't have that as well. Um, because everyone is so judgmental. So
mhm.
judgmental. They put y'all on these pedestals, and God forbid you slip one time, baby. You are the scum of the earth.
It's over.
Uh,
It's
you the
over.
scum of the earth. You
Wrap
know,
it up.
you're done.
It's over.
That's it. It's over. It's no
but
coming back.
but you even with that though, from your perspective, why do you think there is an underappreciation? Like, if we can acknowledge that there is an underappreciation, why do you think that is? What do you think that comes from? Like, I'm curious.
I think that from and I can only speak from a Black woman's perspective, right?
Hmm.
Uh, I think that we were given this false narrative um, that Black men were all bad, right?
Mm,
And I think that because when you guys were younger, a lot of Black men were not able to feel, right? And then you have to think about the young boys whose moms don't have spouses, right? Not in home spouses.
yeah.
They may have their things, but not in home. So now that kid has to grow up and kind of be the mom's significant other, not in an incest type of way, but
Nah, I feel you.
grow up fast. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So the little boy that you could have been like, and I thought about today. I think a lot. I'm in my head a lot, but you know that already. But I
Mm.
think a lot. And today I thought like, my kid, my Gabe is 6, right? And Gabe is a big boy, but he's a big boy. However, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm good. 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 Escape 6 already, man. Time be going by quick, quick. Shameless plug right here. Olive Share Productions. Check us out. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is. Olive Share Productions.
That's how you
Come
keep
check
the
out
show
some of our
going.
work. You feel me?
That's how you keep the show going. But he's a big kid, and I just thought like people may look at him and say, "Oh, like because he still has a lot of baby weight, right?" And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like sometimes people judge that. I'm just like, why can't he just be a pure little boy?
Mm.
Allow
Yeah.
that course to run because it doesn't last long. And
Mm.
then comes puberty, right? And then comes, all the other stuff that comes
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
being, so it's just like,
Yeah.
why not allow him to just be that pure little boy?
Be
Who
that
says
kid. Yeah.
that's wrong? So I
Yeah.
think that, like I said, you guys did not, definitely in our generation, you guys didn't have that to be a pure, because think of all the men that you saw on TV and little boys, and they were all just tough all the time.
Yeah.
Always. They were always tough. And it's like there's an expectation for you guys that I think sometimes is very unrealistic to me. But, it's what society does. So I think that society has had us look at you guys a certain way, and that caused a lot of underappreciation. Like if you don't have a certain amount of money, if you don't have a certain degree, or drive a certain
Mm-hmm.
car, or you can't provide a certain lifestyle, then you're a loser. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, he a
Yeah.
square. I don't want to be with him.
Yeah.
But why? So that's what I mean. Like you guys are underappreciated
I
because
feel you.
what about
I
the
feel
ones
you.
who have regular jobs that take care of their family way better than those who have millions? Who come home, they do the right thing, they do right by their spouse, they do right by their family.
Yeah.
What about those? And I would say not just the little guys. What about them?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you guys are underappreciated because in definitely today's society, the expectation of these women is different. Is different. And if I was a
It
guy,
is.
I'd probably be single. If this was, if that was the crop I had to pick from, I'm good. I'm all right.
I feel you.
Because you want me to get your hair done, get your nails done, you want me to fill up your car, you want me to buy you this car, you want me to do all this, and then what are you
Mm-hmm.
gonna do? But if I don't do those things, then I'm a bum. I'm this. I'm that. Like I saw this
Mm-hmm.
thing where this guy pays $500 in child support,
Okay.
and the child's mom said that the kid needed shoes. The wife's like, not happening. Guy's like, why? He needs shoes. I'm getting. She's like, you pay her $500 a month
Yeah.
for child support. Any pair of shoes he needs should come out to
Mm-hmm.
$500.
I agree.
He's like, but he needs shoes. That's my son. But my thing is, if you're paying $500 in child support, it should be very little that this kid needs. Definitely, if your kid is a teenager,
Yeah.
very little.
Yeah.
But most people on the internet is probably blasting him because, like, oh, you letting somebody tell you what? No, it's called a chain of command, and that's his wife. And at the end of the
Mm.
day, in spite of what all y'all are saying, brother man got a choice to make because it's either gonna be the bed or the couch for him tonight. I can tell you that. So
That's real. That's real.
it's gonna be the bed or the couch. At the end of all y'all comments, sharing and what you think and how you feel,
Mm. Yeah.
you better make a wise choice because it's gonna be the couch or the bed.
Oh, the bed.
But I see a lot of
Yeah.
like videos and stuff where I don't know. I'm not perfect, but man, some of these chicks take these men through some stuff. Like in my
Yeah.
bed, like bro, if I was you, I'd have gave her a nice little 2 piece to call it a day. But yeah, I understand. I understand. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think you guys underappreciate because the expectation is very high, and I
Mhm.
think at times very unrealistic.
I
Very much.
think I agree with you on that for sure. I think they're unrealistic for sure. I think
Yeah,
and a lot of times it kind of goes back to that social media thing. It's kind of like, oh well, I see that they doing this, that, and that.
in reality TV.
Right. It's kind of like you so worried about what they got going over there. Like you only notice that the grass is green on the other side if you're looking over the fence. Just focus on
And
your
it
own
ain't it
grass.
ain't grass. It's the little other stuff. It ain't even grass.
The
That's why it's always
other
green because it's fake. But hey, I'm gonna mind my business.
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
like you can't go off of all of those things that appear to be right. And
Hmm.
a lot of times people will take those and they'll put those expectations on other people out there,
Hmm.
and then they find themselves in one relationship after the next,
Hmm.
single, always in some type of drama, and then you wonder why. And it's like your expectations make no sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want a stay-at-home millionaire who is an athlete. I'm kind of like, hey yo, like your stuff, it's not lining up. You know what I'm saying?
Meanwhile, you
Like,
still trying to get your GED. It's just
yeah,
it's not. Yeah, the
you know
math
what I'm
is not.
saying?
It's not mathing.
Yeah, like you gotta look at it. Like a lot of times in these um people, like let's take those people who are millionaires or is taking a professional athlete, like you on the road most of the time. You're not at the
Hmm.
crib just kicking it,
Yeah.
but you want someone that's finna be in the crib with you all day, snug as a bug in a rug,
Hmm. Hmm.
kicking it, being able to binge watch. I'm like, millionaires don't do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Um, so I think a lot of times you wanting the best of both worlds and kind of like, oh, sometimes you gotta pick one.
Yeah.
You gotta pick one for some of that stuff because it don't really line up like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Now, gonna merge over
Hmm.
mental health wise.
Hmm.
As a being a black man, how does that alter your mental health? Like you said, being things like being followed in the store or the looks you get in the store, the worry of simply going to take a walk.
Hmm.
How does that toy with your mental health?
Um, I think I can give probably better examples of things that I do
Hmm.
more so as opposed to things that I might think specifically. Prime
Hmm.
example, when I be doing a lot of this travel, a lot of times I'm a road trip type of person. I hop in the whip and go. It don't matter.
Hmm.
Like we have a hurricane come up here, I'm sliding. I promise you.
Right.
I'll be halfway through the country in no time.
Hmm.
So I have a brother that lives in Mississippi, right?
Hmm.
Now I know from where I stay, in southeastern Florida, I'm gonna have to cut across, right, and then go up towards Tallahassee through
Hmm.
Alabama into
Hmm.
Mississippi. I already know for a fact
Hmm.
I'm not making no stops in Alabama.
Listen, side note, side note. Let me tell you this.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Let me tell
stuff
you this.
like that.
Let me tell you this.
I'm not stopping. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna get from here, and I'm gonna be able to get to Tallahassee.
Right.
I'm going to gas up in Tallahassee, and I'm not talking about no just regular fill it up, and as soon as it clink, you pull it. No, no, no. I'm talking about put a little gas tank out just a little bit, and then
Right.
keep it going, so it
Listen,
takes it over the top. And
listen,
I'm not stopping in Alabama.
let me tell you something, brother. Me and Anthony, we had to go. His grandfather died, right? So he's like, oh, we're gonna get on the road like 12, 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
Cool. It's like should take us a couple hours to get there. By the time we get there, check
Yeah.
in, brought it up, blah blah. We can race. Cool. So got me a little shut out. Woke up. We was in Alabama. In there. He stopped at the gas station. First off, it was cold as HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where we at? I look, yeah, I mean, ain't nothing but rebel flag, like big souped up trucks, and ain't nothing over there look like that. Not
Yeah.
not a cow, cat, dog, nothing. Just nothing. Well, I had an
Yeah.
attitude of it. At the end of the heat, had to like pump gas, look for snacks. Listen here, bro. This is not the place to do this. We go.
It's not.
He's like, "Do you want a snack, brother?" I don't want nothing but to get up out of here. That's it. And even if I had to use the restroom, I can use it once we
I'm
get
good.
out of not doing it.
I'm
He's
good.
like, "What's wrong? We are about to be some niggas too in here. That's what's the problem. You see them trees? I'm sure our ancestors have been on them. Like, brother, you trying to pick out little Debbie
Yeah.
snack. We about to be the snack, and you don't understand that. I don't think you ain't understanding what I'm telling you. Get the gas. We
Yo.
don't even need a full tank. Get enough to get us out of Alabama. We can
Just
pull up
enough to
later.
get up out of there. Just enough to get up out of there. That's
I
it.
ain't never been so scared in my life. And the people just look at you with it. Did you see
Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw?
I did.
Very much show them vibes.
Yeah.
Very much,
Did you see the movie Life? I think it's called Life with
very
Martin
much show
Lawrence.
them vibes.
It was like, how much to make one of them white only pies? That's really what it's like. And
Yeah,
for me, it's more so stuff like that that kind of bleeds through.
right.
You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
as much of like the like thinking about it constantly. It's more so kind of like a, all right, yeah, nah, I'm not walking to no store. I'll rather drive. You know what I'm saying? In a certain neighborhood. Or if I'm taking that road trip, I know, all right, Tallahassee, that's the last town that got black people in the state of Florida once you going up that way. I ain't stopping until I get to my destination. You
right.
know, it's more so stuff like that. I mean, so um I mean I can even remember like certain times like younger, of course, much younger. I'm just kinda like, all right, I know I'm going here, I know everybody gonna get staring at me and they're gonna be following me around. Like I've had that and it's kinda like it was literally just kind of like a mental preparation knowing that what you about to have to endure when you just try and buy some groceries, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
That
I
happened
mean?
to me
So
in Ultra, the
Alta,
beauty.
yeah,
That happened to me, and it was a black lady, right? And it's
yeah.
like, they kind
Come
of
on,
boost up,
sister.
like, and so I was with my best friend,
Hmm.
right? So we smelled some perfume, like, oh, that smells good, let's move over here. And it seemed like everywhere we went, she had to dust that area. Me being me,
Yeah,
turn around, like, hey, can I help you? Like, do you need to dust this area before we get here? Because
yeah,
I don't understand why everywhere we go need to dust. I say, because see, they don't set you up for failure. They
yeah.
set you up for failure. Because what I want you to know, I ain't never been to jail. I ain't even interested in jail. In fact, I wouldn't even make the ride on my way there because I'm going to die. You know why? I don't even like jail. And when I came here, I came with intent to purchase, not to steal.
Yeah, yeah.
So, she's looking crazy, and it's sad that you have to go there, but stop following me. The same thing happened in Walmart. Every aisle I go on, this little guy, little, uh, coming, following me. I just turn around. Can I help you?
Yeah,
Can I help you with anything? He's like,
right.
no, I'm fine. I was like, I would just ask you because it seems like you're very interested in what I got going on.
Yeah. It'd be obvious too. It's
Right.
very
So
obvious.
since
It's
you're
very
making it
obvious.
obvious that you're following me, I'm gonna make it obvious that I know you're following me. So now we
Hmm.
both uncomfortable.
Yeah, yeah. Nah, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
And you know what's very interesting is that a lot of times, again, location dependent,
Mm-hmm.
um, black people will do it to each other.
Uh-huh.
Black
Mm-hmm.
people will do it to each other. And so, like, mind you, originally from Jersey and I lived in a few different states before I moved to Florida. When I lived in Illinois, I lived in Kansas, I lived in Missouri, I lived in Mississippi. I expected it totally.
Yeah.
totally
Hmm.
expected. I was accustomed to it. I remember like coming down to Florida, like when I was first moving down to Florida, and I'm in Walmart,
Hmm.
and I'm seeing black dudes just. I'm like, my brother,
Right. I'm one of you.
right?
Yeah.
Good afternoon, my octoroon,
Right.
like my
Right.
brother. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, why is you sizing me up?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just like one or two, but it was like multiple people. And it
Hmm.
wasn't until I was working a job. It was me and my brother working a job, and there was another dude there from Florida. And my brother actually is the one that brought it up. He was like, "Yo, like, why is that people, black people down here, like, will constantly like size you up?"
Hmm.
And no, don't get me wrong. If you walk in like certain hoods, people gonna size you up regardless.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like my brother. You are on the clock at Walmart. You're
The
not
joke
doing
about.
nothing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, um, and he was like, I can tell y'all not from around here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
it's Walmart, bro. You know what I'm saying? I ain't walking down Grape Street.
Right.
You feel me? I ain't, I ain't, we talking about, we, we talking about Walmart. And this ain't no rough area.
Right.
I, I know rough areas. This ain't one of them.
Right. It might be a
Yeah,
Grape Street vibe, but come
you
on now.
feel me? Like y'all, you didn't even look. You didn't even look at the white people like that, but you
Right.
looking at me like that.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And it really got to like an interesting conversation. But he was kind of talking about like the intimidation of like having like other black men, like, and he was like, man, I ain't gonna hold you, like, y'all started working here. I was kind of looking at y'all the same way. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like we noticed. That's why we asking
Right.
you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, but I seen know y'all, blah blah blah. But it's just like it was just weird for me to experience that from our own. And I'm like, okay, you know.
Hmm.
So sad truth,
Yeah. Yeah.
sad
Um.
truth.
Now, for other men that may be dealing with mental health,
Hmm.
um, in whatever capacity that may be, whether it be because of home life, work life, just whatever the case may be, what
Hmm.
advice do you have to them when it comes to sharing or talking to a therapist? What advice do you have?
First thing is pray. You need to
Hmm.
get a relationship with God. If you have a relationship with God, get a stronger relationship with God.
Right.
I find myself in almost constant conversation with God. Like if I'm not here, like a lot of times people like will just think and like talk in their head and stuff like that. I'm gonna talk to you about it,
Right.
and I'm gonna expect some answers.
Right.
Yeah, I expect some answers.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big thing for me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't say that I don't think that therapy is for everyone,
Hmm.
but I do believe that there's a good amount of people that could use some therapy.
Yes.
Um, a lot of people got some unpacking to do. See luggage, let's unpack it.
I'm talking about that, baby.
You know what I mean? I think, and but I can understand why it can be not so common
Hmm.
in our.
Oh, look like we had some technical difficulties there.
Here. Okay, my thing backed out for a second.
Okay,
Yeah, my bad.
this literally has never happened. Leave
Yeah,
it to all of us.
it literally just bounced out, and it was like, "Your camera looking good. You're looking great." I'm
Right.
like, I appreciate it. I thought thought we was already got a roll. Um, dang, what was I saying? About the therapy? Yeah. Um, I think. Oh, I can understand. You know why it's not so so common for us. I think it's becoming more talked about now. Like there's more
Hmm.
people that are having those conversations. It's more open conversations happening, which I think can
Right.
be very beneficial.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a lot of people who need to hop on that wave.
Yeah.
Um, I I think also your circle, your circle around you. Um, Not to say that me and my friends necessarily speak about it a whole lot, but for people out there, like I have the ability to. If I needed to talk to one of my friends about something, I
Hmm.
can, and that's vice versa with them. And I think for the people out there, it you should have that within your circle.
Right.
And if you don't, maybe your circle should get a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
You should be able to have those open conversations, and not to be looked at in a different type of way. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And if you don't, maybe you and them people is not really as cool as y'all thought y'all was on some real.
Right. Right.
Um, so I think a lot of times just having that that community base where you guys can, because a lot of times you might be going through something and think that you're the only one going through it
Hmm.
and not going to say anything.
Yeah.
But if it's 10 of y'all and everybody
At
thinking the
least,
same thing,
at
really
least
y'all
six.
could be having one fire conversation.
Right. At least four to
You know what
six
I'm
of y'all
saying?
are going through the same thing out of 10 people.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Exactly. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Especially if it's people that are from the same area that you're from,
Yeah.
they have a
Yeah.
similar um backstory as to like
Hmm.
where you come from. I'm not saying everything's gonna line up perfectly,
Right.
but a lot of times you could be saying something to someone and they could be like,
Hmm.
yo, like I had something very similar to that. Like as a
Yeah.
matter of fact, like blah
Hmm.
blah. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
think a lot of times it's just having the comfortability to have those conversations. Um, but again, it's that circle. That's that circle. If you have a significant other, again, I think that needs to be someone that you can have those conversations with. Because if not,
Hmm.
it might get ugly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't express those things there, so um, yeah, I mean, because you're going to be able to get other perspectives, which I think
Hmm.
is really important.
Hmm.
Um, and for some people, it works just getting it off your chest. Um, Journaling, I think, really helps.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I think journaling is one that's not as much look brought up, but I
Hmm.
think journaling can be a really good look.
Yeah.
Writing things out, because even if like you're holding things in, like you might be able to write something out, and that might be okay, cool, I got it off my chest.
Yeah.
Not necessarily you got to send it or show it to anybody, but whew, got off my chest, like I got out everything I wanted to say.
Right.
So I would say exploring those options there.
Hmm.
And yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say to those who may hold things in, like feel like they can't share because sharing may make them seem soft or weak? What advice do you have to those men?
Um, Honestly, kind of still some of the same.
Hmm.
If the people that you're around, if you believe that sharing, that they would see you as weaker, you need some new friends.
Yeah.
You need some new loved ones.
Hmm.
Just keep it in the buck with you. You
Yeah.
need new people in your circle.
Hmm.
Um, and that's okay to let some people go.
Right. Right.
um, Boundaries with people.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you've got to be able to get to a level of comfortability of communication.
Hmm.
Communication is super key, super
Yeah.
key. Like, um, and if you're not, if you're just kind of holding things in, it's going to come out in one way or another, even
Hmm.
if it's not direct. And I think a lot of times, like I kind of look at pain as like the roots of a tree, where it's kind
Hmm.
of like this is the ultimate. This thing in the middle is actually what's the what do you say the root of the problem,
Right.
but it shows in all these other different vines, and it's kind of like, well,
Yeah.
this really ain't had nothing to do with what we
With
was.
that. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, like, so like now you got the littlest things getting you mad, or pushing you over the edge, and it's kind of like, well, if you would have just handled the root to begin with,
Hmm.
you wouldn't even have had all of that.
Yeah.
So I
Mhm.
think handling situations early and often, don't wait for them to build up and fester, like, because it's gonna affect your mentals. It can affect you physically,
Yeah.
as well, which is, I don't think a lot of people realize that it can really actually affect you physically. Um,
Definitely.
so yeah, new friends,
Definitely.
new friends.
Definitely. I would definitely agree with definitely friends play a big part.
Hmm.
Making sure yeah, food done got me tired a little bit, but making sure that your friends group is a strong group of individuals.
Hmm.
And also, talking it out, making sure you are getting the correct resources, understanding that it is normal to go through things. It is normal to have
Hmm.
these crazy thoughts. It's normal to have childhood trauma, just trauma, period.
Yeah.
And I think you have to work on healing you before you can love or like
Mm.
or do life with somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I think we try to get into relationships, situationships with other people and just imagine like a ball of yarn tangled up, right?
Mm.
Like that's you. You just this wad of yarn that is just tangled, tied, and mixed.
Yeah.
And then you go meet another person, your spouse, or and they are tangled and tied as well. And now try to put them two yarn balls together. Eventually, what
Yeah.
happens? They come intertwined and they are messed together.
Yep.
You got to take time to say, all right, let me get my strings together and get this right
Hmm.
properly so that when we get together, we don't clash, but we go together well,
Yeah.
right? We have to learn to heal ourselves. And I think that Black men need to understand that it's okay to feel. It's okay to
Hmm.
have a weak moment. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to scream, scream. Whatever you need to do. I know there's a huge stigma that, men don't cry, men supposed to be tough. But I had a conversation with a young lady. She's like, oh, I don't want no man that's soft or that shows any feminine femininity or anything like that. And I said, well, imagine your spouse always having to be hard and that one time you need him to tap into his softer side to understand and relate to you. Because naturally we are soft people, women. We are
Hmm.
only rough and hard because that's who society says we have to be now. That's cute, that's fine, that's whatever. That's who we grown to be, but it's not who we're meant to be. We're meant to be soft,
Mm.
loving, nourishing people, right?
Yeah.
And if I come to Anthony and I have a concern, I need him not to think from that hard masculine place, but to be able to tap into the softer side to understand where I'm coming from because that's where I'm thinking,
For
right?
sure.
Um, so I think that we have to learn that it is okay for you to be you. It's okay. If you're
For
having a
sure.
moment, have it. If you got to cry, cry. I'm not gonna judge you. I'm probably gonna cry with you. Probably cry harder than you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Um, I don't do well with people in these stuff, but it's okay to just
Yeah.
release and regroup. It's okay.
Hmm.
It's okay. And that's not just for men, women, but men too. And I think men need to understand that. And that doesn't mean I'm going to love you any less. I don't respect you any less. In fact, I probably love you a little more deeper. And I probably have a lot more respect for you because I know that you can be vulnerable with me, right? And you
Hmm.
can allow me to tap into a side of you that not everybody has access to.
Yeah.
That opens a different realm of intimacy, a different realm of a relationship of
Yeah.
trust. That comes with a lot of things, but that takes work.
For sure.
That
For
takes
sure.
work.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of good gems right there. Like, especially with the thing with the two balls of yarn.
Hmm.
Crazy part is, like, something you spoke about before with the expectations, is that a lot of times people will go into a relationship and honestly think that that person that they're getting with is supposed to fix their mess.
No.
that they're supposed to untwine that yarn for
Mhm.
you, and that you're not
Mhm.
supposed to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But
man,
my thing is, somebody else got that stuff in the wad, and now it's you
mhm.
mad at me. You mad at me now because but you ain't had
now,
nothing
now,
back there with
now you got an attitude.
around the rosy pocket pull of poses and all that, but you ain't had nothing to say. But now you with me and I'm
Right.
okay then.
Now all of a sudden you got attitude. All right.
Now I'm the problem. Okay then.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing. And yeah, got to get to that place of that comfortability of being able to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And one thing that I can say, especially to the fellas, is leave the work at work.
Oh man, come
And
on now.
that's not a subject changer. It's really kind of touching on the same thing, because
Hmm.
if your work requires you to be um hard in that sense, to where you not necessarily showing as much of emotion,
Hmm.
don't you can't bring that home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not to the same degree,
Right.
because if something is happening on the job and say, okay, it doesn't, you're not letting that bother you, or you're not going to talk about it, blah blah blah,
Hmm.
fine. That's how
Hmm.
you handle things at work. But if you go to try to bring that to the crib, and like you said, oh, well, I wanted him to tap into that soft spot, you can't bring that same mentality. You got to be able to have that separation.
It has been clear.
Speaking from Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. I mean, that's speaking from experience. Like, it's definitely in a situation where it's kind of like, all right, my significant other at the time was around me in my work all the time.
Hmm.
So kind of like, dang, like you you strict to business. Like, you don't really talk about a bunch of, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm still on the clock. What you trying to talk about?
Right.
Are we good? All right, bet I gotta get back to it. Yeah,
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
I
Exactly.
automatically I automatically went to, I'm about to do this, and this is about to trip you out. I automatically went back to, we good? Yeah, we good. We good? Yeah.
all, all
So we
good.
straight. Yeah, yeah. When you
All
showed
clear.
me that thing in the frame the whole time, I'm thinking, brother, you had one job. Just one. Hey, get the stuff and go in the
just
car. Just
just
get,
just get
just, don't worry about it. Just
you
get it
know.
going. Don't worry about it. You
Hey,
know what? You, I'm the
get
problem. It ain't you, because I should have knew better. Just go in the car. Don't worry about it.
you know. Hey,
We
that's
good.
really
We
how
good.
it be.
Hey,
And
we good.
just
So you
I'm just
don't see the
like,
whole hand in the
yeah,
frame, okay then.
like, yo, that is, that is really was like, that is was like this. It was like this, yo. It
Ah,
was like
you said
this.
we good. What he say?
And I'm steady over there, kind of like, he's like, you know what I'm saying? We're on set, so we can't really talk. I went to go look at that. My brother, why have you wronged me in this way? What did I do to you?
Where were your antennas when the car
Right.
was in the frame the entire time? Where was your antenna?
I'm talking dead smack. I'm talking about the focus was on the cord. That the focus was not even on the individual. Individuals blurred out.
Oh my gosh.
Focus is
That
on the
I'd have
cord.
been done. You'd kick me off the set too, because I'd have been crying laughing. What?
My goodness. I'm like,
That's
yo.
that's wild.
But even another thing you were saying, like, there's gonna be a time where the um the woman is gonna, eventually want him to be that softer version of himself with her. Think about
Mhm.
when you have children,
Yeah.
and it's like, yo, the kid is going through X, Y, and Z, and I'm expecting him to be softer right now with the kid.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
all he knows is,
Hard.
nah,
Like
nah.
Kevin, like Kevin Hart is that. Put the tape in my hand. Put the tape off me.
You feel me?
Brother
Yo,
man said he went around that Christmas tree and it's gonna be a dog Christmas today.
exactly, exactly. You
We
gotta
don't want you to be that parent. That's the parent we don't
balance.
want you to be.
Balance. That's what it is. Yo. You gotta have balance
Right,
with that stuff. You gotta have
right.
balance with that stuff, yo. And a lot
Yeah,
of people don't. A lot of people
yeah,
don't. But we gotta. We as a people, we have to get to that point where we can have that balance because it's lacking. The lack thereof is nasty work.
yeah,
It's nasty work at this point. So
yeah.
definitely have that balance. You know, your lady will love you more for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, before we wrap it up, is there any advice that you have for other Black men, whether young, old, indifferent, advice that you may have to those who may be, struggling and just um, not sure if they can make it, how they can make it, those who may be trying to make ends meet, whatever capacity they may need some positivity. What gem
Hmm.
you have for them to encourage them to just keep going and letting them know that all will be okay?
Hmm. Um, yeah, you got to go backwards before you can go forward.
Hmm.
Um, all great creations are made in the dark,
Yeah.
right? The things that we hold most dearest to us,
Hmm.
in value wise today, like let's take a diamond for example.
Hmm.
Um, it has to sit in darkness for a very long time in the dirt.
Right.
For it to be considered a real diamond, it's got to go through extreme pressure.
Yes.
And so a lot of people out there go through what they feel is a lot of pressure on themselves.
Hmm.
And you have to go through a lot of pressure. Then you have to go through a lot of heat. Heat is
Hmm.
on. So you've been through pressure, you've been through heat, you've been in the dark for a very long time. You have to go through all of those things to be able to come out and be a diamond.
Yeah.
You have to. That's just
Hmm.
that's the way it is. I mean, and for those people that are tapped into their faith, their faith, God created everything that we're here on earth right now, and it
Right.
started in darkness.
Hmm.
It all started in darkness when He was doing the creation. He did some creating before He said, "Let there be light."
Right.
He was working, and so you have to. There's gonna be those times. Embrace them. It's really not about the destination. It's the journey. Like
Yeah.
don't forget to really embrace where you are. There was something that it was a sermon series a while ago, and the title was "Here is Holy,"
Hmm.
and it really spoke to that point of like, don't worry about there
Hmm.
so much. Worry
Yeah.
about here. You know,
Hmm.
if we can dominate here, if we can take care of right here, there will be okay.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know, and each here, will eventually be there,
Right.
in time, but you just have to worry about here.
Right.
Um, and those things come, I think, and this is one of my biggest things that I always say is, yo, you have to believe in yourself. Stop expecting other people to believe in you.
Hmm.
Stop expecting for your mama to believe in you. Stop expecting for your girl to believe in you. Stop expecting for the mailman coming down the street to believe in you. If they
Hmm.
do, great.
Hmm. Right. Right.
That's even better. But having the expectation that all these people need to believe in you before you go through what you're about to go through is
Hmm.
unrealistic. You have to have that belief in yourself.
Right.
That right there is a lot more propelling, you know.
Hmm.
Find your why. You
Hmm.
have to have a why. If like I have a very strict routine, right? I have a very strict routine, and I get some people like there's some people that like I'll talk with, and they're like, oh, like I want to kind of do what you're doing, blah blah blah, here and there, and so they're like, yo, how do you manage being able to work and run a business?
Hmm.
Like, where do you find the time in the day for that? And I'm like, well, I wake up at 4 a.m.
Hmm.
And they're like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna wake up at 4 a.m.
Hmm. But why are you
Then
waking up at 4 a.m.? Right.
exactly. They
Yeah.
never make it. They never make it to wake up at
Being
4 a.m.
slobbing, sleeping,
Uh,
slubber,
yeah.
sleeping, slumbering, and slobbering.
To the max, to the
Mm-hmm.
max. And it's just kind of like, I know my reasons. I
Yeah.
have my reasons why. Because if I don't get up at this 4 a.m., I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to have this.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond me, this person in my life is not going to be able to have this. They're
Yeah.
not going to be, I'm not going to be able to do this for them. I'm not going to be able to do that for them.
Mm-hmm.
When it's you, if it was just me, I'd be all right without that. I'll be
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
survive. I'll be tough. I can thug it out. I'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'll put on that shit. I'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I'm, if I say, yo, it's for my mom,
You going hard for it.
you feel me?
Yeah.
There, like, my why is so much deeper now. You know what I'm saying? If it's for my lady, oh, she want X, Y. Okay, well, if I know if I sleep in now, that means she not gonna be able to have X,
Yeah.
Y, and Z, or she's not. I'm not gonna be able to do this for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
get your why, whatever it is. Your why has to be bigger than the reason that you wouldn't. You know, you have
Yeah.
to be able to eclipse that. So, um, I think those are some big things right there. Believe in yourself, have a really strong why, and don't stop. Keep
Mm-hmm.
going.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going.
Go ahead and give them any of your tags for social media so they can follow you.
Yes, everything is Oliver Sherrer Productions. That's OLIVERSHERRERPRODUCTIONS. Oliver Sherrer Productions on all the sites. Check out the merch; it's always there. Yeah, check us out. We got some projects and films that are out right now on our YouTube. So Oliver Sherrer Productions on YouTube, and we got plenty coming. Got a
Hmm.
lot of heat. We got a lot of heat. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff that we're growing up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Any last words for the listeners and watchers?
Biggest thing, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for the platform. This is actually really fun. Like, I really enjoyed this.
Mhm.
So thank you for having me on. I greatly appreciate you. Um, we gotta do this again sometime. Definitely gotta do
Absolutely.
this again sometime. You know, this was cool stuff. So, but to the people out there, y'all bless up, man. Go find God.
Yeah.
Go find God. That's what I tell you. You need Jesus. You too need Jesus.
All
You
right.
too. Y'all need Jesus. That's what you need.
All right, brother. That's the way you end it. I tell you what, if you're gonna do it,
Yeah,
you do it just that way.
just like that.
Y'all go find Jesus. And that was
Y'all go.
words from a great
Y'all
Oliver Share.
go. Yeah.
Find Jesus.
Y'all go find Jesus.
He out there, in case you was wondering. Just find him.
Word. He is. He is. Hey, I'm telling you, people be doing all type of stuff. Let me sage this and let me yoga that. Let me meditate on it.
Brother, I
Yo,
ain't even on the TV show and I'm about to be canceled. I'm about to be canceled. I can see it happening.
y'all
I can
finding
see,
all these other things, and the Lord done already got you right.
you know.
You put that effort in Him, you be fine, yo. You be fine.
Well, you know, just don't, I don't
Just
really
know
know.
when I'm in the building, it's different. It's different.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
I don't really know what else to say. I tried to tell y'all before, but I hey man, I thank you for joining the show.
different. Most deaf, yo.
Thanks for the
Most
yes.
definitely.
Hopefully this is not the last show that I have. You know?
Yo, I hope not. Dang.
But if I do, I want you to know it's all you. I ain't the problem. It was you. You was the problem. That's what I need you
Yo,
to understand.
hey, if this the last one though, that means this one finna do numbers.
That's it. Though. That's it. But you know what?
Down.
Them numbers ain't gonna count because shit is over. It's over. So numbers don't count. I was gonna have numbers just to have them. But hey, it, I can say I had them.
Yeah.
You know,
Honestly, I thought it was. I kept a lot of stuff back.
You did, and then
It
you
was a
got to
lot of
the end,
ways.
and you just said, "You know what? Here you
It
go."
was, it was a lot of
Y'all
ways it
trying
could
to.
have went.
It's a lot of ways it could have went, and it
A
did.
lot of
But
ways. Of
I definitely appreciate you for your yes.
course. Of course.
Thanks for the conversation. It was an awesome conversation. I do look forward. I'm sorry that the others could not join. I'm sure it would have been an even better conversation, but I'm sure
Oh,
we'll be able to link up and make.
I'm gonna need to find Jesus after I get done talking to him.
Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
okay then. Well, hey, I appreciate you. I'm Ashley Angeline, your favorite host on the East Coast. We thank you, Mr. Oliver Sherrer, for joining us. And if nothing else, definitely be encouraged, stay encouraged, and don't forget to encourage someone. And enjoy the rest of your night.
Appreciate it. Likewise, yo.
Have a good
Bless
night.
up. All right.